Good morning, Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Do you have a lawyer today?
¿Tiene abogado hoy?
Perdón?
¿Tiene abogado hoy?
No,
No.
Tell me what you're doing about that.
Dígame qué está haciendo acerca de eso.
trabajando para pues llevar mis diligencias cada día. Tengo pruebas, traigo unas copias que me validan que sí estoy pagando.
La única cosa que yo quiero saber, si tú tienes un abogado, si no, ¿qué estás haciendo cerca de eso? Nada más. No quiero saber nada más.
Working.
Fui, consulté a un abogado, pero se me hace muy dificultoso pagarlo. Con un
Consulted
down
with one
payment.
lawyer and it was too difficult to pay for it.
How many lawyers have you spoken to regarding hiring on this case?
A ver si los puedo contratar.
Con dos.
With two?
That's not enough.
No es suficiente.
There are a gajillion and one lawyers in Harris County. 99% will put you on a payment plan where you pay as you go. You've had two different settings now, and you've talked to two lawyers in two different, that's unacceptable. You need to talk to more. You may talk to 10, you may talk to 15, but you need to put effort into it. 99% will put you on a payment plan where you pay as you go, and you can negotiate.
Puedes negociar con ellos.
Entiendo,
I understand.
pero es difícil. Yo tengo mis pruebas, mis copias de que le estoy pagando mis biles y el abogado se me cobra el down
I have
payment.
proof of how much payments I have to do for my bills and the attorneys are expensive.
Un down payment como $2,000 y con todo esto se me
Especially for
hace
like a
bien difícil.
$2,000 down payment and everything else is hard.
You talk to two lawyers only. You need to talk to more lawyers. Other lawyers are different. Not every lawyer is like that. We gave you a lawyer on the first one,
Damos un abogado en el primero.
and 3 months later, you pick up another DWI. You need to start talking to other lawyers. It's time. I'm gonna have you go to Victoria. We'll have you sign a reset. And if you need to talk to 10, if you need to talk to 15, that's what it may take.
Va a ser que todo.
Sí, tengo un problema con mi dispositivo que no me permite estar muy fuera de 5 días, 6 días, 7 días. He perdido 2 trabajos ya, 2 proyectos por
I have a problem
cuestiones
with
de
the
esto.
device
no
that's
puedo-
I'm
on.
not gonna talk to you about this is why you need a lawyer. But I'm,
Bien difícil ir y no tener quien lo lleve, cómo manejar,
Very
o sea,
difficult to
es
get around.
más difícil pagar.
It's more difficult to pay.
I don't know. I mean, just,
Okay. Bien difícil.
you
pero-
do not
Very difficult.
have a license.
No
You are
tiene-
not allowed to drive.
Sí.
I know.
That's it. We've asked you not to consume alcohol. Stop. I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah. ¿Cómo está?
Just take a seat for me. Hey, good morning, Ms. Cepeda. You were charged with 2 cases. The one that you're pleading on is the DWI. On that case, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked that agreement where they're offering you 30 days in jail with credit for the 19 days that you've done. Understand this charge will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. You can never take it off. Do you understand? Is this 2 or 1, Josh?
This is what we're pleading on DWI and dismissing the prostitution.
Right, but I mean, is this,
Yes, Your Honor, the first.
We can talk while all my papers go.
are you on probation or parole at this time?
The only case she's scheduled for a TRAS, I think they offered a probation on her possession
You
case.
need to be careful, man. You know, if you get on felony probation, you have to live like you have a halo above your head. 'Cause you can be facing a lot of time elsewhere. You understand? This case is going to go on your record. It's going to be there forever. What you need to understand is that from now on, you're facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases. The other thing is with your record, if you get pulled over in a car, you need to understand that it's a very good possibility they're going to harass you just because of this. Do you understand? So don't give them the ammunition to mess with you. You understand, it's not hard. One button on a phone will take you anywhere you want to go. 30, 40, 50 bucks, really. You understand? Giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You could be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it's going to go on your record. You can never take it off. You understand? This is what you want to do. Okay, how do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty? Understand you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or $2,000 fine, but I'll sentence you to the 30 days in jail, credit for the 19. Also understand there's fees and surcharges in amount of like $3,500 here. I will waive it, but if you come back on a second DWI, get ready because it's a $6,000 surcharge. All right? All right. Good luck, man. I am going to suspend your license for 90 days as well. Run it, CC. Okay, good luck, Mr. Gaines. All right, thanks, Judge.
Judge, are you ready for a?
Good morning, Mr. Foster. Do you have a lawyer today? What? I'm sorry?
Lack of funds.
What are you doing about your lack of funds issue?
I just did a lot of applications, but I got a case pending. Because my case is pending.
When is the last time you've had a full-time job?
Check when was the last time. I worked at Clydeburg Communities right down the street off of Willard about a year ago.
So how do you survive? Correct. You need to eat. You got kids?
Yeah, I got kids. I told you that last time.
How are you supporting those kids? How are you supporting those kids? Those kids need to eat. They need food. What have you done?
I was
Here's what we're going to do.
on the side.
Mr. Foster, here's what we're going to do.
I need a job though.
And we're going to make sure that that happens. So I will give you an application for an appointed lawyer today. And I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks. And I want to see what, if anything, you have done to get a job. You telling me I filled out applications? Listen,
I got some.
I'm not going to argue.
On today, I got some on
Mr.
Wednesday.
Foster, I'm not going to argue with you.
I got jobs lined up, but it's not consistent. It's money here, money there, money here, money there, but everything is not
Kids
consistent.
don't eat here. Kids don't eat there. They don't need clothes here. They don't need clothes there. You need a full-time job. And if it works, if it means fast food, then that's it. I'm going to give you an application today, but I'm bringing you back in 2 weeks and I want to see what you've done to get a full-time job.
I just got hired at Kroger not too long ago. They hired me,
Stop.
fired me because they said my background check didn't come through.
Stephen, I'm not going to argue with you, dude. You are Lester Robinson. Mr. Robinson, you're charged of tampering with the government record. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
One moment, Judge. I apologize. It's loading right now.
Sorry, Judge, internet's a little slow this morning.
Good morning, Morgan.
You got it.
Ready, Judge.
Okay,
On December 9th, 2024, a traffic stop was initiated for a defective left headlamp at Will Clayton Parkway in Harris County, Texas. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, and sole occupant of the vehicle. The officer ran the temporary license plate, which came back to a different motor vehicle. The defendant stated he put the license plate on the vehicle and was fully aware that the temporary tag belonged to a different vehicle.
Robinson, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license, sir? Can you run his license, please? Okay, you're not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name, and I'm making that a condition of your bond. Do not drive unless you have both. Do you understand? If you violate these conditions, I'm going to revoke your bond. You will go to jail. No more PR bonds, sir.
Eligible, Your Honor.
All right. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, we'll just get you out of here. When you come back, please have a lawyer. Please. All right. Alexia Relle, come up.
We were just going to do this plea a couple weeks ago, and Your Honor,
You don't
PTI.
have to say anything else.
Okay,
If
okay.
it just doesn't work, it just doesn't work. I mean, you know, Ms. Rochelle, you're old enough to understand that actions have consequences. And then when you do this, this is a lifetime action, you know? You cannot come back in this future and say, you know what, I changed my mind. I've got buyer's remorse. I want to return it like I want to go to Target. You know, once you plead guilty, that's it. Goes on your record. And there are consequences. You get pulled over, an officer is going to see this. You have the smell of alcohol, you got the smell of dope. What's going to happen? You have to be conscious. And what we're doing today, the proverbial slap on the wrist, from now on, you're facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. Do you understand? You give up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine accusers, the right to be arraigned, charged, read in open court. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeals, is what I was saying, that once you plead guilty, there's no turning back. Do you understand? Is this what you want to do? How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty? You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. But like I'm telling you, this can be used to enhance punishment in the future. From now on, you will be looking at a second DWI if you pick one up. And from now on, it's up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine, not to mention a minimum of 30 days. Do you understand? All right. How did you plead? Guilty or not guilty? I will find you guilty and I'm going to sentence you to the 3 days in jail. I'll give you credit for the 1 day that you've done. I'm going to suspend your license for 90 days, ma'am. Do not drive until you get a license. Now, the other thing that you need to understand is DWI is extremely big business in the state of Texas. And when you pick up a DWI, there are surcharges in the amount of around $3,000. If you have a 0.15 or above, it's $4,500 that you owe. And if you don't pay it, you don't get a license until you do. Do you understand? On a second DWI, it's a $6,000 surcharge, not to mention court costs. So you pick up a second DWI, you could be looking at around $7,000 in fines and fees when you walk out of here. So what I'm trying to tell you is one button on a phone, one button, wherever you want to go, they'll take you wherever. You understand? Where do we go from here? As far as surcharges and,
Ms. Rochelle's currently not working. She just got evicted from her apartment actually, and we'll be moving back to Arkansas, back home. So we have to have surcharges. Judge.
are you working?
No, I recently lost my vehicle, so I'm not able to get to work, which is why I recently got evicted, which is why I can't do the PTI. So I have to, I got the letter.
Are your folks around? Okay, go back. Go back. There's nothing wrong. You know, when I graduated law school, I was what, 30s? I went back to my folks. I lived with my folks until I saved money, a ton of money, and I was to be able to get something else. There's nothing wrong with it. go back, get on your feet and be the best person you can. But that's what it's about. You know, there's nothing wrong with going back to live at your house. Really. I did it and we all do it, you know? All right, I'll waive your surcharges. I'll waive the court costs.
Thank you, Judge.
You're not going to go anything when you roll out here. The only thing that we ask of you is think before you act. Think before you speak, because God forbid you make some kind of mistake that's so catastrophic that you can't go back to mom and dad. All right. Good luck.
Judge. Stand up real fast.